So responsive design is one of those really tricky areas where you get lost and you spend countless hours not knowing why this button doesn't work, or this page doesn't work, or what I should put in this frame, or what frame should this be. Should it be fill? Should it be hug? Should it be fill container? I don't know. It becomes a hell if you're in the beginning of your design career and you don't really understand how these things work together. So the three questions that you have to ask yourself is: number one, is this frame supposed to be a fill container, or should it be hug, or should it be fixed width? So these are the core concepts behind responsive design, especially in Figma. And when you master them, when you really think and you understand the principles behind them, you start to really understand how this all works, because these are the building blocks that each and every frame has. Once you understand each and every frame, how you set it up, you'll understand how this all works together. So let's talk about the fixed width first. So I like to describe the fixed width as the stubborn father. The father who is rigid. When you tell them, I want this, they say no. When you tell them, I want that, they say no. This is the rigid, the rock that doesn't break. When you say, I have something inside me that wants to grow, he says, I don't care. This is my size. I will not expand. If you have something outside that also wants to change its size, it doesn't care. I will always be the same size regardless of what is happening, what is inside me or outside. When do I use this? I use this with icons. An icon is 24 by 24, 32 by 32, 64 by 64. It is this shape. It will not change if my screen size increases. It will always be the same shape. We use this with images and avatars. My image is 200 by 200. My avatar is 24 by 24. It is always the same shape regardless of the screen size. So it will always be the same. And finally with illustrations as well. So the same size regardless of what's happening. Unless you want your image to change with the size of the whole frame or mobile screen. If this, for example, is taking from side to side, this image is taking, or illustration, from side to side, you want it to increase with you as you expand the screen. So therefore, you should make it fill container to fill with the size of the whole thing. Let's talk about the hug. The hug is like the caring mother. The mother who nurtures you, who hugs you, who makes sure that you're always comfortable and you're always safe. Whatever size you are, the hug will always take the size of what is inside. So it really, really cares about what is inside. If it's a text block, then it will always take the size of the text that is inside it. I don't really care about what's outside. I mean, if the screen size increases and so on, I don't care. My screen size or my size will always be dependent on what is inside, not what is outside. When do I use it? I use it with buttons. For example, the text of the button increases. I want the button size to increase with me, but I don't care about what is outside. If the whole screen increases, I don't care. My button will always be the same size. I use it with tooltips and text box height. And I'm talking about the height. Whenever I increase the amount of rows that I have while texting, I want it to wrap around it very nicely and neatly. And I use it with card height as well. I don't care about the height of the card. It could be very long. I don't care. But whatever is inside, I want it to be displayed nicely and the card to be wrapped around it very also clean. You should not set a hug if what is inside of the hug is fill. If for example, I have a button inside of the whole thing that is a fill container, I should not set the container itself to hug, because fill plus hug, I mean, these two things, they rely on each other to determine the size. One is setting the size based on what is outside. One is determining the size based on what is inside. So it doesn't know how to calculate the size. So sometimes when you're looking through the options, you will not be able to click on the hug or the fill because of something like this. There is a clash of properties. Finally, the most important thing, which is the fill container. The fill container is like a supportive husband. He wants you to expand. He wants you to increase. He wants you to fill the potential that you have and take over the world. He wants you to grow. This is the essence of responsive design. Responsive design was based with fill. Whenever you want something to increase with the size of your screen, you should set it to fill from outside so it increases and decreases accordingly. I do not care what is inside, but I really care about what is outside. If my frame is getting larger, I will increase the size of this thing with me in order to fill the space that you need. When do I use it? I use it with cards. If the card is taking the whole frame of the mobile screen, then I want it to increase with me as the size of my phone increases. I use it with sections. I use it with pages, anything that I want to be responsive. Do I want this item to be responsive? For example, this input box. Sometimes I don't want it to be responsive. I want it to be the same size. However, in this scenario, this is taking the whole size of the screen. And when the screen gets bigger, I want the text box to increase with me. So therefore, I should set it to fill. Then when I increase the size of this frame, these text boxes increase with me. So again, it depends totally on what your requirements are and how you will engineer this. And again, this button as well, this button is increasing with me as I go. So I will set it to fill. Depends on what you want and how you want to design this whole thing. So whenever you find yourself lost and not knowing what is wrong, why isn't this responsive, how should I do this? You should take the frame step by step and just look at every single frame and ask yourself these 3 questions. Do I want it to be the same? Do I want it to hug what is inside? Or do I want this part to be responsive, to increase and decrease with me with size? And just take it step by step. And as you develop these skills, you'll be able to do them without knowing. With practice, you really stop thinking about it and you become very fluent and it becomes easier for you. So let's go ahead and see how popular websites actually handle their responsive designs from their actual websites. So this is YouTube and it's about 420 pixels wide, which is the mobile form. If I decrease the size, you will see that lots of things are changing. So the first thing that changes is the top nav. Let's look at the top nav. Now, is the button's size is the same? Are the avatar sizes the same? They are the same. Therefore, they're either fixed or they're hug, which depends on what's inside. So this right part is the same. The left part is also the same. If I increase and decrease, it is basically the same. So what is different? The difference is the frame that has these 2 on one side and all of these on the other. This specific frame is a fill container. It is taking the size of the entire mobile that I have. And what is inside between them is set to auto width, which is why this is sticking to the left and this is sticking to the right. So when I change the size of this, it changes the distance in between. And that is responsive design. So again, the frame that is on the outside is fill, which is fill with the whole frame of the phone. And what is inside is set to fixed or hug, depending on their preference. Let's look at the post. When I decrease and increase it, the size of the image or the video increases with me. Therefore, this image is set to fill with the frame of this whole thing. And this frame of the whole thing as well is set to fill with the whole frame of the phone. So when the phone increases, it translates to the image. The same thing with the text. If I decrease the text also shrinks with me to make it responsive. Again, so the text block here is set to fill container and it increases with me as well. If it was set to hug, it would take the size of this text regardless of if I increase or decrease it. It wouldn't be responsive at all. So this is how they set this up and so on. Once I go into a tablet form, the layout changes. And this is even more advanced when you get into breakpoints and how to design different layouts with different screen sizes. So this whole thing changed because the layout itself changed. If I increase the size of the images also increased with me, and the left nav popped in, which is of course the tablet design This is becoming more evident. And also, if you look at the top nav, the search bar increases and decreases with me, like so. This means that this search bar is not like the rest, does not like fixed here or fixed here. This is set to fill, to increase and decrease with me based on the size of my phone. For more design system videos, you will find more videos on the channel, and you will also find courses available in the description.